bbc.co.uk/local news. Or, of course, you can read them this evening on the BBC News app. Now, as the commemorations continue to mark the 80th anniversary of VE Day this week, 2 RAF veterans from Greater Manchester have been reliving their humanitarian mission, which saved the lives of millions of starving people. In May 1945, Allied air crews, many of them flying in Lancaster bombers, dropped desperately needed food supplies over the Netherlands. Many of those bombers, of course, were built on the site of the Avro Heritage Museum in Stockport, from where Matt Trewern reports.
Just days away from the end of the war in Europe, and British and American air crews drop food parcels in part of the Netherlands still occupied by the Nazis.
The starved, rickets-ridden bodies of this Dutch family are witnesses to the treatment the Germans meted out to our friends in Holland.
80 years later, Jeff and John, who flew in those Lancaster bomber missions, are comparing flight logbooks.
How many did you do? When we got to the dropping zones, we could see crowds of people waiting. As soon as we finished dropping, they went in and gathered all the food up.
Although the Germans had agreed a ceasefire for the mission, the flights were still dangerous, with some aircraft being attacked. The drops continued for more than a week, with airmen making and dropping their own parcels for hungry children.
Toffees, bars of chocolate, and made little parachutes out of handkerchiefs, and got the rear gunner to throw them, added little notes on for the children and that kind of thing.
Those stories you don't get to read them in history books. Those are so personal and so unique. I think Operation Manna is considered to be the very first airborne humanitarian aid mission ever. And it's so significant. I mean, it's still commemorated to this day. The Dutch authorities are still giving out medals to those aircrew that were on those Operation Manna missions.
It was in a Lancaster bomber just like this one, in which Jeff and John, just 19 and 20 at the time, flew these humanitarian missions over the Netherlands, and it would be many years later before they realised just what difference they'd made.
One fellow said, if you hadn't dropped the food, I wouldn't have been born. My parents were on the verge of starvation, and you saved their lives, for which I am truly thankful.
The aid flights carried out by Jeff, John and many others are believed to have saved millions from famine. 2 men from an inspirational generation. Matt Trewern, BBC Northwest Tonight.
Let's talk a lot more about VE Day in the next few days as well. Now, a new film in cinema